Welcome to Behind the Screens, a podcast where we talk to industry experts and the people who make Universal Screens a leader in the world of motorized retractable screens.
All right, welcome back to another edition of Behind the Screens with Universal Screens. I am Shawn Culbertson, the CEO of Universal Screens. To my right is Joe Serta, the VP of Sales for us. And we're joined today, we've got Damon Gochneaur from Aspiro Agency, as well as the owner of the semi-professional soccer club, Denton Diablos. The background about why, how we know each other and why Damon is on today is Damon and I know each other through soccer, first and foremost, that then led into, oh, hey, you do websites and SEO and you've got something that could possibly work for us, but we have a relationship with another company and Damon and I are friends, and we didn't really want to cross those lines with Universal Screens and his agency. But years back we had a conference. We do what we call our roundtable seminars every 2 years, and our speaker, which was a SEO expert, he had to back out at the last minute. And on short notice, I called my buddy Damon, and Damon said, "Yeah, sure, let me do it." He stepped in. He was one of our guest speakers, and he killed it. So we're kind of circling all the way back and looking for someone to bring on this podcast. Damon is local to us. We do have him on Zoom because he's a busy man, but I wanted to bring him in. So without further ado, this is Damon Gochneaur of Aspiro Agency. Please introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
No, man, I appreciate it, Shawn. That's, man, number one, I can't believe it's been this many years already, because it feels like yesterday I was over there with, I think 75 or 100 of your dealers and installers, discussing SEO. So yeah, I am Damon Gochneaur. I am the founder and owner of Aspiro Agency. We are a small digital marketing shop that helps businesses grow. So we use SEO and paid search, PPC, mostly on Google Ads and Bing, but as well as Facebook, Instagram, and email marketing to try to help businesses grow their bottom line in whatever method that is. So everybody from hospital and healthcare clients to service industry clients like screen installers or HVAC, all the way to larger companies like GoDaddy and Yeti. So we've got kind of a wide variety of clients that we've worked with in the past 6 years. And I've been in SEO and paid media and digital media, I guess you could say, for almost 15 years now, Shawn, which is kind of crazy. So 2007, I started dabbling in Google Ads and actually running Facebook ads. I was actually one of the first guys to run some ads on MySpace before that platform tanked out. So I've spent almost coming up on a decade and a half trying to help businesses identify their target consumer online and then sway them to make a purchasing decision.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I was going to ask, you kind of beat me too. I was going to ask how you got started in this. I kind of knew your background and growing up, and like I said, we're tied in with the soccer background. Yep. But yeah, I was curious how you got into this, and you've taken it and run. And I mentioned how you did some guest speaking for us, but that downplays you as a person. You are, I see you, man. We're friends, but I follow your social media, and you get called all over the country doing some guest speaking.
I do, man. I do. Actually, if it wouldn't have been for COVID, I was hoping to break the international speaker barrier. So I had an opportunity to go to New Zealand and an opportunity to go to Durban, South Africa. Listen. So how I got into SEO and into digital marketing in general was, you go back into the early 2000s. I was in sales and marketing, and I was buying a lot of leads, and I was frustrated with the quality of the leads I was buying, whether it was as a B2B insurance sales guy. I did health insurance and life insurance sales for companies, so B2B with an agency and as an agent. And then after that, I transitioned into the mortgage industry and spent 2 or 3 years cutting my teeth trying to sell paper. And in that process was spending a lot of money buying leads to try to find people interested in either buying a home or refinancing, whatever the case may be. So through that process, started trying to reverse engineer of how are companies creating these leads, and how potentially can I create leads for myself, not from a cost savings perspective, but from a cutting out 3 or 4 other guys that were calling on, or the competition around those leads. So if a company sold me the lead, they sold it to 3 or 4 other people. And when they sold those leads, unfortunately, that meant that there was going to be 5 or 6 or 8 people trying to call on them. So that was the reason I started trying to figure out digital marketing. And it really just was a lot of Shawn, you know me, I'm a guy that's not really afraid to say no to a lot of things in life. And I wear a lot of hats, and, thanks to the beauty of the internet, there's not a lot that you can't learn if you really want to. So I started just trying to figure out, how are other people doing things, and how are they building pages, and how are they driving traffic, and what does that take, and what is the process? And so I immediately figured out that there was some real easy ways to drive traffic through paid media. And if you were smart about your targeting and smart about your offer, you could kind of match those up. And so I got into affiliate marketing in about 2007, running ads on MySpace for brands like Ford and American Express, for brands like Phoenix University when it was still in its early infancy. And so I was able to find success and carve out a little niche.
Yeah.
And so I was doing mortgages on, during the day, and then running affiliate ads at night, trying to figure out what digital marketing was. And so after about a year of that, I realized my future was in digital marketing and not in selling mortgages.
Yeah.
And so 2008, I switched over, and since then have been just anything digital. So started with MySpace, then Facebook came around, Google Ads popped up. I said, let me learn a little bit about this. And then I was spending so much money, every month on paid media. That's when SEO, in about 2010, 2011, I started to think about, well, how can I get this traffic for free? What if I ranked for some of these terms instead of buying them? And that's what led me to SEO. And so it's been a super fun journey. And you're absolutely right. I get the opportunity to speak probably 3 or 4 times a year, specifically on paid search and specifically on SEO.
Yeah.
And I got a soft spot. I grew up with a mom and dad that own a small business, and my in-laws and my grandparents owned their own business, all different verticals and all different types of businesses. So I've grown up in a very entrepreneurial place. And so to your point, I had a chance to work with some agencies and really learn, and then unceremoniously was let go for whatever poor decision that was made, a lot of times business decisions. And so in 2014, I looked at my wife and said, I really think I could probably sign a couple clients on my own. And if I could do that, I think then that I could take care of them. And, I don't necessarily have to go work for an agency to do SEO and to do paid search for companies. And so that's exactly what I did. I signed 2 or 3. I got laid off after a company lost a big client that wasn't mine. And so saw the handwriting on the wall and said, I'm going to do this again and again and again unless I take control for myself. And so that's what caused me. I started Aspiro because I had small kids. I have a 9, 11, and a 13-year-old now, but at the time they were, 4, 6, and 8. And so I wanted something where I had control and I had a little bit of ability to carve out and make sure I could be there for my kids. My parents were as entrepreneurs. And then as well, I wanted something that I could put $1 in, and I could put a day's worth of sweat equity in and know that went to me in the future. And there was something hopefully that I was building towards. So we ran with it, and we've been super successful ever since. We've had, nothing crazy. I'm not hitting Jeff Bezos numbers by any means, but every year is steady 10, 15% growth. So yeah. Super proud of where we're at. We've got 5 employees, and we've got a building, an office up in Denton, right on the square. So really great spot, and we're really proud of what we're doing.
Man, that's excellent. Yeah, no, I've enjoyed watching your growth from here. Hey, so let's dumb it down.
Cool.
I was talking with Joe before we got on this, and Joe was showing me an ad on Facebook, and
yep.
It's obviously a targeted ad, so that's why he's gotten it. And so the people that are listening to this podcast are particularly our customers, and those are small business owners, much like yourself and
my brethren.
Yeah, exactly. And so I know some of them know exactly what social media and how the targeted marketing works, but there's a lot, and I'll say myself included, that just really don't know exactly how do I get my ad in front of the right person. So can you dumb that down and explain?
Question. Yeah, totally, Shawn. And I'm going to dive in on 3 different pieces real quick, and I'll try to be quick on each, right? So if I was a small business owner, and specifically a guy that did screen installs, and one of your customers, which is dealers that we work with. Thanks to my relationship with Screen Mobile, we work with about 45 franchisees across the country. So, and I have this conversation all the time. They want to know, what should I do, man? There's just so much stuff. What should I do? Number one, your Google business profile is your business's homepage in search. So I don't think enough business owners realize that, but it used to be called your Google My Business profile. But before a customer gets to your website, most likely they're going to do a search for your website because they don't know the exact URL, or they're going to do a search for businesses in your area that are providing the service that you provide. And so we want to be found on that. Having our Google business profile cleaned up, everything correct, verified, good pictures and good reviews helps us to get found easier in search. Then we want to take in second piece, right? Let's talk about organic search for a minute. We want traffic that we can get for free. We want people to find our businesses when they're searching for any products or services. So what it means that you have to get committed to your community. And I say this all the time, but you got to sponsor the PTAs. You got to be involved at the local level, because all of those local relationships provide you links, specifically links from some other business's website to your website. And so when we talk about SEO and organic traffic coming from people searching for, screened patio Dallas, right? Or the ones that we always like are the motorized screens, motorized screened porch, Denton, Texas. If I want to be found for that, I need to have other businesses talking to me about that. So we want to try to get links. So that's where we're just having those relationships and being embedded in your local community. Now, the part that you talked about was targeting, and when we get to paid media. So in paid media, I really tell local guys and girls that we should be focused on two different things. The first place you went to is social media. We cannot ignore the fact that there is still a tremendous reach, penetration, and opportunity within social media. Specifically, we're going to talk about Facebook and Instagram. And we love both of those platforms because of the thing that you mentioned, Shawn, the targeting. So when we work with Screen Mobile and we work with their franchisees specifically on social and social ads, the reason that we love Facebook's targeting is because I can go find homeowners to start with. So let me get all these homeowners. And beyond the targeting, and let me back that up, how does Facebook know the data that it has? It's through three different ways. First party data, and that's the data that we give Facebook. I fill out the profile, I give them my name, I give them my birth date, I tell them who my wife is, I tell them where I work, tell them where I went to school. So I give Facebook so much information that I voluntarily tell them to build my profile. Second is the data that they can get based on your activities within the platform. So things that I do in the platform, relationships and connections I have with other people, videos that I watch, content that I watch, things that I search for, things that I do in Facebook. Then they have third-party data. Facebook is one of the largest aggregators of third-party data, meaning Facebook buys data from other companies to then set and match against their customer profiles and their users, so that marketers like myself can come in and specifically target out segments of audiences or specific pools of people that in our minds are very, very ripe and very have high intent for our product. So we're going to use the Screen Mobile or the screened products example. Number one, we want homeowners. Homeowners are going to be the people that are going to be installing and thinking about doing screened porches and all those things. Number two, if I went to any one of your business owners, Shawn, and asked what part, everybody's going to say, yeah, I do. Like, for instance, I'm up in Denton, just north. So everybody wants all of Denton. But there's 2 or 3 really, really nice zip codes, and not even zip codes, but subdivisions that we want even more. So it's about knowing exactly where you want to go for your targeting. So not only can I pick out this homeowner, right, and give me all the homeowners in the area, then I can pick out homeowners within a mile radius of a specific address, which means I'm going to get everybody in this neighborhood that's a homeowner. On top of that, I can layer in data like the kind of car they drive. So if I specifically want high-end customers, I can go after anybody that's driving a Lexus or a Porsche or an Audi or a BMW or a Mercedes. Beyond the targeting of the car they drive, I can also target them based on their income levels. It used to be I could target on specific income levels. Facebook's taken a lot of punches in the mouth over the past 2 or 3 years, specifically with regards to the last political election. So now we can target based on the essentially the percentage or what area they fall in. So I can target the top 5% of all earners in a specific area, the top 10%, 10 through 20%, 20 through 30%. So Facebook has a wealth of targeting options. And a lot of them, you won't even be able to, you have to dig so far in the platform to make, to your point, Shawn, it's very difficult for somebody to even know they're there. What we do is we actually have a set of interns go through twice a year and pull down all of the Facebook targeting and put it into a spreadsheet for us so that we can, at a macro level, start to understand what audiences are truly there for us to go target. I'll say this, the number one mistake I see on most paid media campaigns, whether it's on Google Ads or it's on Facebook, is local and small businesses or regional businesses not utilizing the geographic targeting well enough and literally wasting money by showing ads to people that are outside of their service area. Even if they were interested, it's not worth your time and money to drive. You know, if we're in Dallas, Fort Worth, it's not worth us to drive to Houston typically to do the job, unless it's 5 or 6 of a specific type of, you know, house or contractor to developer or something that really makes it. So a lot of times I tell the first place to start is to make sure that we're really, really tight. Anytime we go to Facebook, Instagram, anytime we're in Google Ads, to make sure that we're extremely tight on our geographic targeting. Yeah. But that's going to be the first thing that allows our money to go further.
No, that's great information, you know, and hopefully the people that are listening to this, like I said, our customers can take that information and do something with it. You know, everything is, you know, everyone's budget conscious, and some of our listeners are absolutely full in the pool, and they're doing paid advertising, they're doing all the right things. But for those that aren't, maybe those that are hesitant, you know, maybe those that are afraid of this, you know, this new technology, you know, they're not on board yet, but they want to dip their toe in the pool. You know, how inexpensively can they start advertising on Facebook, you know?
No, that's a great question. Literally, I think the minimum now is $2 a day or $3 a day. And from a campaign length perspective, there's no minimum time. So you could run a $3 one-day campaign if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to say that's super effective or you're going to necessarily get the results you want. You know what I mean? But Facebook is such an interesting platform because you have a primary audience. You have the people that follow your page or like your page or subscribe to your page. So you have a really, really great audience to start with. You know, Facebook also gives us a lot of tools. You can go into your audience demographics and you can see the people that like my page. Who are they? What's the average age? What does it skew from a gender basis? What's the average income? Are they homeowners? What's their education level? Do they have kids? All of those things can then help you target your ads better. To your point, though, Shawn, the reason we love Facebook, I used to have when Facebook first came out, the minimum daily budget was $1. And I used to talk to businesses, specifically small businesses, about $1 or $2 a day plan. You know, and I would tell them, if you can't literally put a cup of coffee into your business each day, which now is like $5 or $6.
Yeah.
But at the time, if you can't put a cup of coffee into your business each day, then I would just question your commitment to really growing your business or wanting to grow your business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So 1 to 2% of your annual revenue, you should be thinking about reinvesting in marketing in some way, right? And so I will always tell small business owners, you know, $50 in a month, $2 a day, or just under, it's like $1.75 a day. If you can't pick $3 a day, which is $90 for an average month, you can learn a lot in that $90 ad spend. If I just target a 1 mile radius around a customer that I just did, and I use their success story and pictures of just got done with this job in Argyle, super excited, would love to do more jobs like this, and I target just in Argyle a 1 mile radius around that homeowner, right, and gave it $2 or $3 a day, I promise you, you're gonna get an insane amount of impressions. So a ton of people are gonna see that ad. For $3 a day, you're gonna probably get 2,000 to 3,000 people that see that ad. You're not paying for that though. You're paying for the click. Right. You're probably gonna get 80 to 90 people that click on that ad and go to your website or go. If you're good at all at what you do, we should be able to get 2 or 3% of those to convert into a lead and convert into some sort of phone call. Most businesses, if I told them I could get them 2 or 3 people to call them at a cost of $30 or $40 a phone call, they would take that because They know they're going to convert one of those into a new client, and that's going to be worth $100 in ad spend. And so that's where I tell small business owners to start. Carve out $100, figure out a really, really smart way to put your best foot forward, do it in the most tight, small area you can, and then just stay true to it. Commit to it for a month and have some way to measure it. Have the phone, if you can, there's always ways to get call tracking numbers. And I know we're getting kind of deep in the weeds now, but even just having it go to your phone, to your setting up a Google forwarding number, which is free, and having the number just forwarded to your cell phone, so you can put a whisper on there so you can get a heads up, hey, Google ads call or Facebook ads call. Then you can actually measure and attribute what you're getting from that investment as well.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yep, absolutely. Hey, so let's say I have a small business, Shawn Shades, and
Yep.
I've got my Facebook page. I go out to Damon's house. Joe and I go out there and we do an installation. Joe grabs the camera, takes some pictures, he takes some videos, and we're going to go onto our Facebook page and we're going to post this. Now, there's one way. I could go on there and I could post it. I could not tag anyone. I could just post it out there, and the people on my page are going to see it. What benefit is it for me to go in and, let's say the vendor's involved, let's say my motor that I did with you is Somfy, and the screen that I did with you is Pfeiffer, the company that I purchased that is Universal Screens, and whatever these. So how important it is.
And the homeowner. And the final piece to that, Shawn, too, is the homeowner is Bob Smith. Yeah. Right? So the question is, Facebook algorithmically tries to show posts. So now we're talking about how we can get that post seen organically. I'm not putting any money behind it, but I just make posts. The platform itself, meaning Facebook today, is not geared to show our post as they are, as businesses. Even as individuals, you don't see all the content that your friends post. Right. It's just the way the algorithm works. What it's trying to do is only show you the content that it thinks you're going to engage with the most. To your point, Shawn, the more connected a post is, the more parties that it involves, and the more of the attributes or post options that you include. Awesome. We posted a photo and a video, and we tagged another company, and we tagged the homeowner. Can we post our physical location? Can we add we're excited or how we're feeling? Can we include a link in the thing as well? All of these are attributes that Facebook's looking for to a post to see what is the chances, because the more attributes that you include in your post, the linking, the sometimes even hashtags, that those attributes will help algorithmically drive you to get more views. So it'll set it up. Beyond that, though, the power of the social network is, as soon as I tag, as soon as Shawn Shades tags Aspiro agency in the post, everybody that's an Aspiro agency follower or fan now has the chance to see that ad. And for you as a small business, Shawn Shades, the most powerful tag in all of that is the homeowner. Because I promise you, the nature of you guys' business, no homeowner, there's a lot of clients that we work with, bail bondsmen, plastic surgeons, very difficult to get reviews for, because nobody wants to admit they went to the bail bondsman, or they went to the plastic surgeon, or they had to have dentures, or you know what I mean? Yep. But everybody's proud of their home. And as soon as they do these upgrades and they have this livable space, they want to show it off on social. And they love when the company that did it shows it off, because then it makes the client is the one in the end that feels like you did such a good job that you want to show it off. Yep. Ultimately, and this is a point that I tell all my screen installers and the screen mobile franchisees that we work with, is from the get-go, from the very first consultation when you come out the first time and introduce yourself, tell the homeowner or the client, customer, my goal is to do a post after this and get you to leave me a positive review, and then do literally a whole post about what a great job we did here. And so that's what I'm setting out to do. So if at any point anything doesn't align with my goal, let me know, because that's what I want. And I'm going to come back at the end and ask you to leave me a review on Facebook and leave me a review on Google. And then I'm going to ask you to share out the posts that we do, talking about what a great job we did here. Yeah. And number one, it's going to help you from the review standpoint. But then number two, you're just setting it up so every time you do a job, you're building this library of content of all the work you do. That's the easiest sales point ever. for you guys in particular, for the shade industry, people want to see that you've done something similar, whether it's the type of, opening they have, whether it's the type of home, whether it's the span, whether it's the type of material, whether it's motorized, non-motorized, whether it's all of the different facets. They just want to know that you have experience and that you've had a satisfied customer and that you can repeat that process.
Yeah. Hey,
every time, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's tremendously valuable for our customers to hear about just tagging and how that opens the door. Basically, it opens the door for other people to see your content because of these Facebook algorithms. It's something that we've been stressing for years now, is that you can have a great post, you can have a great picture, a great video, but if you don't attribute it to anyone else, then your following is the only one that's going to see that. But if you take and you tag on to, let's say, Aspiro, and they've got 1,000. Okay, great. Well, what if we tag onto them and they've got 10,000? That's what you're trying to do, is just build this snowball effect. And so having you say that is tremendously valuable to the people that are listening. So I appreciate that.
Shawn, I want to say this too. If you have a good post that you're proud of the job you did and you tagged everybody up and you've done it, boost that post with $5 or $10. For $5 or $10, you can go get another 1,000, 2,000 people to specifically see that ad. And if you put a link in there, hey, like the job we did, we'd love to talk about changing your home today. Link to my site, link to my landing page, link to my email address, whatever it is. And then you put $5 or $10 behind it, you'll now guaranteed that you're going to get the power of the social network to get fully, that ad's going to get fully dispersed through all of those people that you just tagged.
Right. Oh, excellent. Excellent. All right. So we've got all the business talk out of the way, although this is business for the next one, but
Yes.
It's more of our passion. It's the soccer.
Yes.
It's what's brought us together as friends to begin with. So I see the hat. I know what I'm looking at, but
I was trying to look like.
Yeah, explain to those that are watching and those that are listening, explain to us this quote unquote side gig you got going on.
Yeah, man. No, it's listen, I'm a father just like you are, and I'm a former player, former athlete, former not anymore. And I had the pleasure of getting a chance to play with you. And it was about that time I realized that I love the game, and the game of soccer has been amazing to me. It's given me so many relationships and experiences, and it's literally molded me and shaped me into the person I am today. And all of the success I have in my adult life, I can almost directly attribute to the lessons and the evolution of myself as a player, and how that's caused me to develop and grow. And as a leader, I was a captain of my high school soccer team. All those moments, you never realized then, but lead me to now. And so when I had my son, my oldest son, Hayden, who's 13 now, I immediately had huge dreams for him, like every father does. But I felt like I had a leg up having played the game, played collegiately, and achieved a modicum of success. But I knew that I had a lot of things I could do and give and show, but I didn't have an opportunity for him to sit inside the locker room of what I felt to be a really good club or those next levels. So, fast forward to he's about 8 years old. He's playing for a coach, and his coach is playing for a team over in Fort Worth in the NPSL, which is the league my Diablos are in, playing for the Fort Worth Vaqueros. And Hayden and I would go watch the games, and we fell in love with NPSL soccer. We fell in love with the fans and the passion and the grassroots. I've always been a guy that appreciates the lowest of levels and people that are doing it for the right reasons. And we also fell in love with the quality of the soccer. It was just really good. And so, I had a couple conversations with the gentleman that owned the Vaqueros, and I had a kind of an idea that I thought a similar offering might be able to find some success in Denton. And selfishly, I wanted to be able to go watch really good quality soccer matches, maybe 10 or 15 minutes down the road and not an hour down to Fort Worth, which is a beating of a drive from my house. And so in 2018, I set off with Michael Hitchcock, my co-owner, and we decided to create the Denton Diablos. And, Shawn, I'm sure you can say the same thing and attest, but people that don't know, soccer is the largest youth sports, attendant or enrollment of any sport in the United States. So we have more kids playing soccer, from the ages of 4 till about 12 than any other sport. And we also have more kids playing, soccer in those middle school, teenage years than any other sport as well. But the number of Division I scholarships and the number of opportunities for men's soccer players to continue the game historically has been extremely low. And it's really just been in the past 5 years that we've seen a real explosion of what we call lower leagues, so fourth division and third division opportunities within the soccer pyramid. So I created the NPSL team so that, ultimately young men would have an opportunity to continue to chase the dream that I had to put on the shelf, 21 years ago. And when I graduated college, there was nothing. The best players that I played with were lucky to get drafted in the MLS. And then after that, they went and maybe played some indoor soccer, and that was the extent of it.
Yeah.
And so now the soccer paradigm and the pyramid has completely changed, and it's so much more encompassing and large. But there was still an opportunity, I felt like, to create a team that gave local kids. We sit in Dallas-Fort Worth, and it's absolutely insane the amount of talent that just gets pumped out of Dallas-Fort Worth in the youth soccer. I mean, I can't throw a stone in any direction and not hit a kid that's playing Division I soccer in another state. Geyer High School right down the street from us had 2 kids this year signed with University of Denver and University of Tulsa.
Yep.
All that being said, there are literally hundreds of super high quality soccer players getting produced in the Metroplex every year. But there's only 2 Division I men's soccer programs in the state of Texas. And there's only, a handful of Division IIs, I believe 6 Division IIs. So the opportunity to continue the game after 18 still wasn't fully developed. So created Diablos to give young men a chance to pursue their passion. Since 2018, we've been fortunate enough to have 9 guys move on from our humble club and go on to sign professional deals, whether that's Division III with NISA or USL One. A couple players have gone to USL Championship, and we've had 3 guys sign MLS contracts. So, we're super proud, super humbled. By no means is that all of our work. By no means are we the majority of the reason those young men were excellent players when they came to us. But we do feel like we've carved out a unique spot of being able to allow players to showcase themselves that otherwise might not get that opportunity. And a couple guys recently have really come in, done well, and then paid super dividends. So Trevor Amon right now is at USL One with the Northern Colorado Hailstorm, and he's been tearing it up. He's featured in twice. Has been man of the match. He's been named team of the week.
Yeah, tremendous goal scorer.
Yep. And then Brian Padilla played for us this season. He's just got an opportunity to go to the Des Moines Menace, and the Des Moines Menace is about to go to USL One professional. So that's an awesome opportunity for Brian. He did the same thing. Came in, scored 9 goals in 6 games for us. Absolutely lit it up. Yeah, so that's why I created the Diablos, man. And I just wanted a fun brand. I'll be totally honest. I think any male that's played any sport on any Xbox, PlayStation, or any video game console of any time or sort has created their own team or created their own franchise. And they, if you're like me, all you want to do is get to the jersey creation stage.
Right.
So a lot of it was I wanted to create a cool brand that I was proud to wear and proud. So I live in Diablos T-shirts, Diablos polo shirts, Diablos hats, pullovers. It's my whole closet's red and black, big section, and it's been super fun.
Nice.
We were fortunate enough in 2021 to win our NPSL national championship. So we beat out 90-something teams from across the United States. Went to Cleveland, beat Cleveland, hosted Golden State from San Francisco, beat them, and then ultimately beat Tulsa in the championship in Denton. So, in 3 years, we've taken the club from an idea to the pinnacle, to the highest of our league standings. And then we were able to compete in the U.S. Open Cup this year and the Hank Steinbrecher Cup, which are a couple really, really, top end tournaments.
Ah, man, I'm happy to see it grow. Yeah, I'm happy
good.
to see it grow. Yeah, we could definitely sit here and talk. Universal Screens is a proud supporter of the Denton Diablos, and we wish you all the best of luck this year.
Them.
So
they're sitting on the shorts. I don't know if anybody can see, but I literally have the shorts on right now.
There you go.
Universal Screen shorts on, man. All our guys wear it on their shorts. You guys have been awesome, man. We can't appreciate or can't thank you enough for all your support.
Well, man, I appreciate you jumping on with us. You gave some very valuable information to our customers that are listening. So as we wrap this up, where can our customers find you guys, find Aspiro Agency?
AspiroAgency.com, ASPIRO agency. And then I'm Damon at AspiroAgency.com. Email me any questions. I'm super easy to get a hold of, and I love sharing the little bit of knowledge I've been able to put together in life. So if you got questions, if you're listening to this, like, man, that guy doesn't make any sense, I want to know this or that, please shoot us an email. And we know the screen business real well, so we'd love to give you some free advice. We'd love to give you a sounding board and try to help you take those next steps with your business.
I appreciate that very much, Damon. So again, man, we're going to wrap up this episode. We had Damon Gochneaur of the Aspiro agency and also the proud owner of the Denton Diablos, the reigning NPSL league champions in professional soccer. So until next time, I'm Shawn, and I'm joined next to me is Joe, and we'll catch you on the next episode of Behind the Screens with Universal Screens. Take care.
Thanks for listening to Behind the Screens. Don't forget to follow us on your favorite podcast player and leave us a review.